getting that call in the middle of the night is scary.
WSU head football coach Jimmy Rogers opens up tonight about the moment he found out one of his players had been shot. What he's saying about the incident tonight.
Hot and sunny the next couple of days, but as the pattern changes, we're talking increased fire danger.
Looks like there will be customers dropping down, dropping out.
Some Washington small businesses learning about new taxes impacting their bottom line. We'll break down the changes and what they mean. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 Night Report. I'm Mark Hanrahan. New tonight, WSU head football coach Jimmy Rogers is addressing the media just days after one of his players was shot at a party following the Apple Cup. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy tells us how he and his team are processing what happened.
Getting that call in the middle of the night is scary.
Washington State University head coach Jimmy Rogers recalls the moment he heard 19-year-old WSU football redshirt freshman Sone Falialo was shot in the abdomen early Sunday morning. He says every other priority quickly dropped.
Something like that could be life-altering or life-threatening. It's a serious deal, and it kind of puts the game of football on the back burner a little bit.
Documents show the shooting came after a fight broke out during an Apple Cup after-party involving both Falialo and 20-year-old University of Washington student Ja'Cory Buchanan. Falialo is being treated for his injuries and is expected to recover. In that recovery, Rogers says he and his team members visited him in the hospital to show support and offer counseling to any team members who need it.
They were shook up. Obviously, Sunday was just a lot of emotion. You play a rival game and you don't perform the way you'd like, and then something like that happens, and honestly, I think it puts life into perspective.
While Coach Rogers didn't go into details about the specific message he gave to his players, he says it was from the heart and from his own experience.
This isn't the first time I've kind of experienced something like this, and I kind of know what it's like to go through it in their shoes, and I'm just happy that it wasn't, a death to this.
As Pullman police continue to investigate the shooting, Coach Rogers hopes the rest of Falialo's recovery goes smoothly and the team will move forward from the incident.
Be a sounding board for them to speak to and really grow and open themselves up and not feel like you're not tough or not a man just because you have emotions.
Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Just hours ago, the man accused of shooting Sone Falialo turned himself into the King County Jail. The 20-year-old suspect, UW student Ja'Cory Buchanan, is waiting extradition to Whitman County on first and fourth-degree assault charges. Buchanan's attorney says he acted in self-defense. In a statement, the attorney says Buchanan and his cousin were attacked and brutally beaten. He says Buchanan's cousin is currently in a Tacoma hospital in critical condition with a broken rib and a punctured lung. Sone Falialo went into surgery after being shot in the stomach and again is expected to recover. All right, let's talk weather on this Tuesday night with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, we're still getting warm during the day, but my goodness, at night, it cools off.
Mark, it is already cooling off. Let's go through this together because it's kind of wild how quickly this is happening. We're already down in the 60s and widespread across the region. 40s in Deer Park and Sandpoint, 50s in Coeur d'Alene and down across the Palouse. It is much cooler now than it was earlier in the day. That's because we don't have much movement in the atmosphere, and that same lack of movement means all of the wildfire smoke close to some of those fires burning is just staying there. So expect more air quality concerns throughout the day tomorrow. Not until Thursday do we see a shift in the activity, and that brings about the increase in fire danger as wind picks up across the region. We'll go from temperatures in the 40s, even though it's upper 40s for a lot of us tomorrow morning, to back into the 80s tomorrow afternoon. It's a huge jump in temperatures from morning to night. So once again, bundle up, but dress in layers because by tomorrow afternoon, we're in the 80s, back there again on Thursday before things trend quite a bit cooler and more seasonal on Friday.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Tonight, heartbreak at a Tacoma senior living complex. Neighbors want answers after a little boy is found dead under suspicious circumstances. 12-year-old Preston Hemingway Lux was found unresponsive last Friday afternoon. Emergency responders pronounced him dead at the scene. Authorities are not giving many details tonight, but did say there were no obvious signs of external trauma.
I cried when I heard, because it just shouldn't happen to a boy that age, anything. And I feel very deeply for his family.
A GoFundMe was created on Monday. Organizers say it's to help pay for funeral costs. The Pierce County Medical Examiner is still investigating the cause of death. A judge is considering whether to release a 13-year-old accused of planning a mass shooting. Pierce County deputies arrested the teen 3 weeks ago after they say he posted threatening messages on social media, leading investigators to his family's home, where they reportedly discovered dozens of firearms, ammunition, AR-style magazines, and multiple writings referencing school shootings. In court yesterday, the teen's mother and defense attorneys urged the judge to allow him to return home and resume attending school.
The court allows him to go to in-person school. He has no objection to going into the office and having his backpack checked every time he arrives at the school. The court does not want him in in-person schooling. He has no objection to doing online schooling.
The judge will now decide in 2 weeks if he will be released. A Spokane woman was booked into the Spokane County Jail for first-degree malicious mischief after allegedly vandalizing 16 cars at a downtown auto dealership. The incident happened last week at a dealership on West 3rd Avenue. When officers responded to what was initially an argument, that argument escalated as one of the subjects began throwing rocks at cars in the parking lot and then took off before police arrived. Officers were able to comb through surveillance video to identify the suspect as 34-year-old Katie L. Sims. Officers found Sims the following day. The initial damages to repair those cars is estimated at $100,000. And that's it for your Night Beat. For more information on any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. All right, don't go to bed just yet. People across Washington being hit with new taxes, and small businesses are getting hit hard. But first, Planned Parenthood is warning that time is ticking as federal funding is cut. The everyday health care, it says, is now at risk. That's coming up in just 90 seconds.